We are home in VA at the Elite Barbershop. This is one of the barbershops that I grew up in, getting my hair cut. My barber to my right been cutting my hair since I was a kid. We got Craig, who's been a lifelong neighbor, friend, mentor, and all those great things. So um, this is a very special episode. These guys have seen me grow up, and we're just gonna just let it fly. So, Steve, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and Craig, I'll let you go as well.
Steve Seargeant. I've been in the community for about 20 some odd years. Uh, been barbering professionally probably for the past close to 15 years. Uh,
Cool.
Craig Parson, neighborhood friend of Steve and the barber Steve. Watched Steven grow up as a kid in the neighborhood. Watch him become a young man into a great photographer, a videographer.
Cool. So let's dive in, Steve. So, Steve, you've been cutting my hair since I,
since you were about 9 or 10 years old.
9 to 10. So, let's talk about that impact as a barber, cutting someone's hair and watching them grow up into the man that they are now.
It's interesting. First and foremost, I'm proud of you, man, because you've been doing a great job. It really highlights the fact that I'm part of the community. I've reached a pivotal point in my life to understand that giving is what this business is about. It's not always about the haircuts. It's the relationships that you build. People trust you over a period of time. They work with your timing. You know, when you have a family. Plenty of times I've had football games, basketball games. I've coached a while. So people get to learn who you are. You get to learn who they are. They work with you to the point where, you know, we all one big happy family.
So your son just won a state championship or something like that?
Oh, he ECAC. He won a tournament after the ODAC. They didn't win the ODAC. They went to another tournament, but they actually ended up being champions.
Mm-hmm. So how do you balance that fatherhood and by being a barber and being a present father as well?
Balance it? I don't know about. I wouldn't say balance, man. It's a grind because you got to remember, business you sacrifice, family you sacrifice. Sometimes you sacrifice with your clients. Your client might go over there, come on back, and be like, "Hey, man, I shouldn't have did what I did." And it's all about sacrificing. There's no book for this. You got to play this by ear. You got to be honest with people. Once they know your personality and whatnot, that's how it goes.
Cool. So, Craig, let's talk about the client and barber relationship. So, out of a lot of barbers that you could have went to in this in the DMV area, why choose Steve?
Well, Steve, he's my ace. He's been cutting my hair. What's Steve? Maybe 15 years, maybe.
Right about that. About 15 years.
Close to 15 years, and it's like, man.
Crackerjack.
Yes. And it's like I don't go with anybody else. I mean, it's like once you find that person that knows how to cut your hair, you don't have to tell him. He just wants you to sit in the chair. He got you. So I won't go to anybody else. I go a month without getting a haircut, waiting on his schedule to get my haircut.
Because we ain't gonna move hairlines.
We're not moving hairlines. Exactly.
Got you. Cool. Well, I do know that coming back home to VA and coming to the Elite Barbershop, I did an episode. Episode 1 was talking about these barber chairs and what kind of chairs are these? The barber chairs that Mr. Pollard has in here. These.
So we have this chair right. We have this chair right back here. I want to say that chair is a 19. That chair might be classified as an antique anyway. So we're talking probably 1950s.
Oh wow.
These chairs here, I would say probably within the late 60s, early 70s, because you got to remember, we haven't smoked in any barbershop probably within the past 50 years.
And it does have the smoke things on the side too. So that's crazy.
Amen to that. Yeah.
That just show you how far we came with barber chairs. So in regards to we talk about community, Steve. we talk about community. So how important being in the community as a barber, how important is that to you?
Well, like I said, the relationships that I built with my clients, truth be told, my wife's family is from King George. So when you have family that's based here, everybody comes together. Everybody goes to the functions. They go to the games. It's really intertwined. It's really intertwined. So the community is where you're at. You just got to understand that, you know, this is how you're building, and this is how you're building, and this is how you give back. Bottom line. I mean, it's kind of like one washes or scratches the other back. So it works out.
Got you. So
if I answered your question.
Oh no, you did.
Okay.
Let's talk about in regards to the pricing for haircuts, because pricing, you know, I'm in ATL now, so coming back home, you know, it's a little bit of a relief for me, just a little bit in my pocket, just a little bit.
I got you.
But however, so let's talk about like pricing for haircuts. Do you think that $50 is too much for a cut, or is that too much?
Can I go in on this a little bit?
You can go in on it a little bit.
So I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. So what I believe with the economy the way it is, I can understand where barbers are charging what they're charging, but they also providing certain services. I'm old school with this. I'm learning with the process. I think we're taking a little too much away from the community, charging as much as we are. I think there's a balance in it. Not everybody needs all those services, and believe me, I'm not going to shortchange what another barber does, but I just believe that the community deserves an equal handshake.
Elaborate on that.
Well, prime example. If I have a client that comes in and they got 4 kids, all right, going price for a haircut right now in the city is $25-$30 for a kid. Now, gratuity, and I do understand time. You have a family of 5 or a family of 4, so you know the time. Everything's got to compensate for each other. Give a discount. Give a discount for those 2 kids. That way you're bringing more back in, because you know we're talking about community. Let's bring them in. Let's keep them here. Let's provide whatever services we need and whatnot. You're always going to take a cut on something. So I mean, one hand's got to scratch the other, and that's how it should work. I believe more business is only going to grow by the community. Financially, you know, where we're at right now, I get it, but you know, your blessings only come as much as you give. That's the way I see it.
What do you think about that, Greg?
Prices wise, I think Steve, like he hit it right on point. You know, you got a lot of people, they charge a lot for haircuts, but I mean, it's depending on the area you're in, and you know, a lot of people come here because their prices are very reasonable. You know, and you know, a lot of people stay out of the city because the prices are a lot higher. But I mean, they give you A1 haircuts in the smaller barbershops as though they do in the bigger barbershops. So I mean, I'll always come to him. Yeah, I mean, he charged what he charged. I give him what I give him. You know, everybody's happy. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I want to elaborate on that. So a lot of times, because of the areas are charging more, I tend to get tipped a little more. Because they understand if they went all the way out there, had to pay for gas mileage, whatever else they had to do, you know, from that point on. But at the same time, the quality of a haircut that I'm giving them, the ample amount of time that I'm giving them, they understand what they're getting. So
That's a good perspective.
it is, because you can go into a shop. I don't know what shop this might be. You go in. I call it the Wham Bam. Thank you, ma'am. So you can go. You can get whatever and whatnot. You can come back. You can look at it. You be like, oh, whatever. again, I'm not knocking any shop, but when you come to me, because I'm so community based and I know everybody and whatnot, I'm giving quality. If there's anything other than that and whatnot, I mean, you know, that's got to work somewhere else and whatnot.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about the owner, Mr. Pollard.
Mr. P.
Mr. P. He brought you in under his wing into this basically this barbershop. How did that relationship start? And give a little bit background on Mr. P.
Okay, so when I first came to the area, I understood I only had my wife was pregnant with my son, and that's Kai. So in the midst of that, I was looking for a grind. I really wasn't looking for a job. Yeah, I wasn't.
That's real. That's real.
I mean, you know, honestly, I was just trying to, what can I do to start my family off? As time started to progress and whatnot, I found Mr. P 2 times. First time I came in, I sat in the shop. I was just like, shop's too slow. Started working down in Dahlgren at Finesse Hair Gallery. Yes, started cutting down there. I was pretty much an appointment taker. I started cutting more women's hair at Finesse. So as time started to progress and whatnot, things changed a little bit, and I came back to Mr. P a second time. When I came back to him, I had all my clientele. I had a little bit of Caroline. I had a little bit of Fredericksburg. I had King George was showing me mad love. So that's when I started to grow the most. Mr. P learned really quick. You know, he had a gentleman here, Mr. Halsey, who was in here. And
Mr. Halsey used to cut me when I was about 4, 5, 7 years old. I used to knock on that back door back there. He used to let me in. I had like a little signature knock, like da 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 da, and he opened the door for me. God rest his soul.
So from that point on, Halsey was in here maybe 2 or 3 hours. Mr. Pollard had told him, you know, help Steve out. Halsey said, this gentleman don't need no help. He's good. He's well, let's put it this way, he's straight. He can handle the clientele, everything else. That's how I built my trust with Mr. P. And then not only that, because he knows the family and everything. There was a couple of little things in there, you know, being not a young barber, but you know, a new up and coming barber to the area. So you know, that's how I started with Mr. P. Mr. P's been like a father to me. Yeah.
So why this barbershop? Is it just because of that relationship or that father-son type bond, or is it just goes back to the community?
No. So I was cutting hair. At one point I was cutting hair in Fredericksburg, and I was traveling every day. My son was at this point, Kai's born. He's in daycare, grandma's. So in order for me to balance everything out, I said, you know, find a spot here. You know, like I said, I was at Finesse for about two and some change, and then I started going back to Fredericksburg. I said, well, you know, let me stay locally. Let me see how it works out. When I was at Finesse, I was pretty much cutting the same clientele. So, you know, but I had a little bit more coming from Maryland, and I know a lot of people in Maryland because I'm from Maryland. So that kind of branched out. I brought some people from Maryland here. Don't cut as many from Maryland because, you know, there's that bridge gap. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those atmospheres where, first and foremost, when you have older gentlemen in the shop, there's a certain amount of respect that you got to give. When you give that respect, you start to learn a little bit more about the business. Family values come first. Respect. A little bit of spiritual upbringing up in here too, because when I was cutting in Fredericksburg, and I cut a stint in DC and in Maryland. So I said to myself one time, I mean, how many shops have you cut at? And I used to say, I've only had like 2 or 3 shops, but I've been here for 23 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been here for 23.
Shop for 23 years?
Yeah. It is, I mean, you know, but I also have a history with, you know, coming up cutting. But like I said, again, when you have someone who genuinely is like a father to you and whatnot, I have had a couple of stints where I left out. I had surgery a few years back and had a couple of issues. I left, but I came back to check on Mr. P one day, and he was just like, "You ain't been gone that long." Come on back. So I came on back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the values and the principles that are shared within this barbershop. You know, speaking that this is one of the barbershops that I grew up in, you know, one of the things that I definitely take away from here is the community, the men that have poured into me, the women that come in here too, as well. Mr. P, Craig, what type of advice or values do you think that you've grasped growing up in the barbershop, or this barbershop, or even the barbershop that you grew up as a kid?
Well, I grew up in the Tappahannock area, but coming here to this barbershop is just like coming home. You know, I look forward to coming in here, just guy talk. You know, everybody hang around. You know, just doing guy things. You know, you can relax and come in here. There's nobody uptight. You know, you come in here. You got Mr. P, like you say, he's an older gentleman, so he has his Bible and he give you some verses every once in a while. You know, so it's like it's sports. Oh, he's big into sports. He knows every college, whatever it is. Travel. He knows every road.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So it's just that vibe when you come into this barbershop right here. Like you said, just a little small barbershop that everybody have fun in. Yep, that's it. Yep.
Gives you a lot of perspectives on honest business.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect. You know, we've had some issues in here. We've had, like I said, it's like a family atmosphere. We've had some disagreements in here. You know, some of them might be the younger folks. We've had this place packed, and it'd be like, you know, you can see the smile on Mr. P's face, and I'm like, man, we're gonna get these folks up out of here. You know, it's family. So, you know, you have a good time with it, and yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot of history by Mr. Pollard and some of his clients that come in here, and I think that's the biggest thing, because I'm a history guy. You know, so when I have history, the next person has history. Older people come in here and they can tell you about the community or what's going on in the surrounding areas, what Fredericksburg used to look like, what Caroline did, this and that. And then you be like, it kind of puts you at ease, because you be like, man, you know, this real community, that's what it is. That's what it is.
All right, so one last question. So both of you guys have seen me grow up. It's like a fun fact one. So
Okay.
both of y'all have seen me grow up. What's your most interesting or fun fact or funny moment that you remember while cutting my hair or being around me or watching me grow?
So now I remember you at first. I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. So I remember at first when you first came to the shop, the gentleman would not stop turning his head. And he got ears, so you know, I ain't want to clip his ear. His mom was, you know, she was focused on me. He's turning his head. He want to see what the haircut. Steve's real big about haircuts. Let's just get that out the blue. He's real big on haircuts. So he wants it to look a certain way. As young as he was, he wanted a clean haircut. As time progressed, he got worse with it. But come on, man. No.
Worse with turning my head or worse with my haircut?
Worse with your haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because business.
Picky.
Because of business.
Picky.
But, and what I mean by that is this. He cares about his appearance.
Yeah.
Care about your appearance. That's a big plus with me, because then I know what my job is. And then over time, talking to him, listening to him talk, you realize that you're actually with a young adult. You actually you're well-rounded. You're raised in a community where people respect you. I do know that. People talk about you. They don't say anything like, yeah. I've never heard anything bad about you, and know that you're one of my best clients, even when you're how many 100 miles away and whatnot. And now look where we're at and whatnot. We've established a relationship.
Absolutely. What about you, Craig? You can even go in the neighborhood, Craig.
I'm going in the neighborhood on you, Steve. It was this little kid right here. He's not a kid anymore. He's a grown man now. But this kid right here hung out with me every day. I was the neighborhood guy that worked on motorcycles, four-wheelers, or whatever. But every day, this kid would come over to the house. He was younger. And you had this one thing. He had a little red four-wheeler. It was like a 4x4 four-wheeler, but he was Recon. He was the only kid that I know would go up the street. We had a little hill on two wheels all the time. He stayed on that thing on two wheels. And then a lot of people probably don't know he was a drummer. I can sit in my backyard all the time and hear him playing go-go or whatever on his drums all the time. So this kid grew up as a kid, but he's a nice young man now, grown up, and I still respect him. He's a good guy. Yep, real good guy.
Appreciate that. Well, I respect you guys too as well, and thank you guys. Well, is there any last remarks that you want to add before we wrap this episode?
I'm gonna use this opportunity to say this. I appreciate you, man. I've been doing some security work for quite some time now, for the past 7 years. My original plan, quite a few years ago, was to open up a barbershop, but I kind of put it on the back burner because of my son being in college, or just trying to take care of family. Now I'm going to use this platform to actually open up my own barbershop.
Yeah, we'll push it and make sure that we get it out there.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Anybody that we need to get to, so that they can.
Full circle.
Yep. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Craig?
No, I'm good, man. Just proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate that. Well, we're going to wrap this episode of the Black Barbers Talk podcast at Elite Barbershop. Mr. P, shout out to you. We will get people to come here as well. And this barbershop probably going to be flooded after this episode, but that's what we want. More clients, just serving the community. All right, take care, y'all.